We're trying to see Governor Schwarzenegger on a...
Attorney Lanny Davis. His best-known client was once the White House, but today it's the big house he's focused on and saving the life of convicted killer Kevin Cooper.
It's immoral for a society to kill somebody with this much doubt.
Davis is asking outgoing Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger to commute Cooper's death sentence to life and has enlisted an impressive group of supporters, including a federal judge. William Fletcher was part of a panel denying Cooper's last appeal and wrote in a dissent, "Kevin Cooper is probably innocent." Cooper was convicted in 1985 for the brutal and bloody murders of 3 members of a Chino Hills, California family: Doug Ryan, his wife Peggy, 10-year-old Jessica, along with an 11-year-old neighbor, Christopher Hughes. The only survivor of the massacre was 8-year-old Josh Ryan. 48 Hours first brought attention to Kevin Cooper's case more than a decade ago, after he wrote several letters to me claiming his innocence. There was and continues to be considerable evidence against him. Cooper was an escaped convict at the time, hiding out in a vacant home right next to the victims. But there are also serious questions. Evidence was mishandled, even destroyed, and some of the facts just don't add up. For instance, Josh Ryan, whose throat was cut but survived, indicated to investigators, including this deputy sheriff, that the intruders were white and that there were more than one.
He responded that there were 3 people.
3 people when things went crazy.
Right.
Although 2 years later at trial, Josh was no longer sure what he saw.
I don't really saw almost like the shadow or something.
The victims were stabbed dozens of times with 3 weapons, which didn't make sense to Paul Ingalls, a private investigator once hired by Cooper.
There was 3 weapons, and I don't care how ambidextrous you are, you can't hold 3. You got 2 hands.
Ingalls helped us track down Diana Roper, now deceased, who implicated her then-boyfriend, a white man and a convicted killer, in the Ryan murders. She even turned over bloody clothing, but investigators destroyed the possible evidence without even testing it. And then in 2002, DNA tests were done on some crucial evidence in the case: a bloody T-shirt, cigarette butts found in the Ryan stolen car. Unfortunately for Cooper, they seem to confirm his guilt. Now even Ingalls, once a supporter, believes Cooper is guilty.
Once the DNA testing came back, that locked it in for me.
But Lanny Davis says the DNA results aren't reliable. Chemicals were found mixed with the blood on the T-shirt, and he says there's other evidence that Cooper's blood was planted.
There was more than one blood in a vial that was supposed to contain just Kevin Cooper's blood, sealed. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to conclude indisputably somebody tampered with that blood vial.
Governor Schwarzenegger has until January 2nd, his last day in office, to decide Cooper's fate. Erin Moriarty, CBS News, New York.